Snapshot 23W18A brings one new advancement, as well as some bug fixes and technical changes. So let's quickly jump straight to them. The new advancement is inside of the Adventure tab, and as you can see, it's right here. Read the power of signal of a chiseled bookshelf using a comparator. And if I quickly just remove the actual advancement, so we can see it working, let's quickly just get ourselves a comparator. How this actual advancement works is you have to have yourself a chiseled bookshelf, a comparator leading out the back, and that is it. You don't actually have to put books into it, as long as I think what the game checks for is a chiseled bookshelf and a comparator within a block of each other. So that is the advancement added. I think that's just to make players aware of the chiseled bookshelf. Now let's jump to some bug fixes. For anyone wondering, this is the advancement for the power of the bookshelf. It's just checking for the chiseled bookshelf, and then it's also checking the parameter of conditions of any state, and also the facing of it to make sure it's facing into the actual bookshelf. Before we actually jump to bug fixes, there are some changes, which the first change is you can now put items into the smithing table even if there is not a smithing template. Before, you would have to enter the template in first before you could put anything into either of these slots. As you can see, you can now put things into these slots even if there isn't a template in there. The next change is stepping sounds. Stepping sounds were only played if you're walking in the center of the block. If you was crouched to the edge and there was an air block right here, it wouldn't play any stepping sounds. Well, that has now been fixed, and it will now play footstep sounds, as you can see in subtitles, and also if you can hear them. Along with this, there has been a bug fixed where if you was walking on the edge of wall blocks, the actual skulk sensor would still be activated. That should now no longer be the case, and if you're walking on the edge of wall or carpet, skulk sensors will not be activated anymore. Another little tweak, the actual jukebox has been moved into the redstone tab of the creative inventory. I don't know if it can be found anywhere else. I guess there is a way we can actually see. So if I quickly just grab ourselves a jukebox, it is now within the functional blocks and also the redstone blocks. Now there is this fix right here. Walking on the ocean floor will produce a stepping sound for the block you are walking on at a lower pitch and volume. I don't exactly know what this means. The ocean floor, I think, is level 63 or level 64. Okay, level 63. So I don't know what it means. A quick little correction. Walking on the ocean floor, it actually means if you're walking on the floor of the ocean. As you can see, it's playing stepping sounds, but at a much lower volume and pitch. So it basically means if you're walking on a block underwater. I think that is what it means. I think they worded it a bit wrong by putting ocean floor. They should have just put underwater. But yeah, as you can see, footstep sounds are also playing. I don't know why swimming's playing. I don't know if that's the salmons that are playing that. No, that is me. It's playing swimming and walking, although I am only walking. That is really weird. Before we jump into anything else, there are quite a lot of technical changes, so I'm just going to quickly show them in the actual patch notes. The actual patch notes website isn't currently working, so I'm reading it through the Reddit. So the data pack is now at version 15, accounting for sign data formatting, and also item display, and also advancement changes. Now, advancement trigger change, they have added recipe crafted. They have also changed formats of place blocks, item used on blocks, and LA drop item on block triggers. There's also loot table condition changes. They have renamed alternative to any of and added all of. And they have also updated and changed some things right here, as you can see. Now, changes to triggers. All fields in place blocks, item used on blocks, and LA blocks have been collapsed to a single location field. New location is similar to player field. As you can see, there has been like a lot of changes to them. I think it's just to make them easier. You can see the make a sign glow, which is the glow and behold advancement. You can see before this update and after this update. So you can see how they have been changed. So this is inside of 119. This is inside of 120. And then you can also see the any of / all of loot table changes. And they have also updated telemetry a little bit as well. Now there are also some new game events which have been added. I think this is for loading the game. And they have also updated required events for world loaded. There is now new optional events which is for advancement made and game load times. Now that's really it for patch notes of technical changes. I will link these patch notes in the description. So if you do want to read all the technical changes, then you sure can, but this update I think is mainly focusing on technical changes because there isn't really much else. A bug fix that has been made that not really many people would care about the slimes and magmas are now affected by jump boost. So if they have the jump boost effect, they will jump extra high. I don't know if this means anything for anyone. Maybe if you're building a farm or messing with magmas and slimes, you can now give them a jump boost just to make them jump that little bit higher. And just like always, there is quite a few bug fixes related to sniffers. Sniffers, when they are actually digging, their hitbox will now be moved down to adjust to their new size. If we quickly just watch this, so let's wait for this sniffer to dig, as you can see, their hitbox went down a slight little bit. It didn't actually look like it went down that much though. Let's quickly just watch it now when it lifts itself up. Okay, it does go down quite a little bit. Where my cursor is, that's where it was when it was laying down. It's now up there. Another change with the actual sniffers, if they are digging on a block and you break that block, before this snapshot, they would carry on digging but not produce an item. That will now be stopped and interrupted if you break the block they are digging. So as you can see, this sniffer is digging. As you can see, if I break the block the sniffer is digging on, it will now instantly stand up again and won't carry on digging. Another thing is that the sniffer's digging particles were before located on the block they were actually sitting on, rather than the block they were digging. That has been changed, and the particles they actually show digging will now be the block they are digging rather than the block they are standing on. So the actual changes here are not really anything major. They're just little tiny tweaks just to make sniffers a little bit better to understand and just to polish up the sniffers a little bit as well. And then just to quickly jump back to the patch notes before we end, there are a few actual other bug fixes. As you can see, one right here, whether or not the player is experiencing some long effects is calculated based on the block under the center of the player. Also, rendering of FPS graphs seems to be performing worse than before. Advancement titles of new advancements introduced in 23W17A were improperly capitalized. Strong lag spikes when moving across a clean area with exposed void, and block light updates don't cross chunk borders properly in 23W17A. So it is literally just a few little tiny tweaks to what was introduced in last snapshot. That is everything within this snapshot. It is a very small one, and the actual changes introduced are not really anything major, apart from the new advancement. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, do leave a like and subscribe. I now expect that we are coming to the end of 120 snapshot cycles. The snapshots are getting smaller and smaller, and now we have actually got the advancements added and the new music. They normally do that towards the end of the updates. That is normally one of the final things they do before jumping to pre-releases. So my guess is maybe we might see pre-releases within the next 4-5 weeks. That would also line up with a release for summer, as that is normally when Minecraft focuses on releases, so people can play it while they're on their summer break. But we'll have to wait and see. We haven't got any confirmed date just yet. Hopefully that'll come when pre-releases or release candidates start. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.